All right. Well, I did not hear my little bell. So this is Chad Everett Broshears. I am the host of Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia and the author of the Human Manual and the Introduction to the Human Manual. So um, I wanted to get to the subject of, because I used Facebook a great deal to identify, some of the social conditions of people's minds and what limitations they are personally imposing on themselves due to their belief systems and knowledge or lack thereof knowledge. So I was perusing through earlier and found a meme from an acquaintance of mine that had posted about do what you like that makes you happy, but no, it's do what you like what makes you happy, and don't care about what others think of you or think of it. Either way, there's some irresponsible values with this, and the reason why people find this so hard to do and why there's consequences to this behavior is simply because we are social creatures. We're tribally affiliated creatures. You have a tribe that you're a part of. Now, we have this because that's just a genetic value that we're a primate and we are, we're social creatures inside of that construct. So we have a consciousness that actually helps keep us part of that group. Now, if we do certain things that actually offend the group, we're increasing the likelihood that we may be exiled from the group. Now, with that, this is where we go. So if you do with what you like and not worry about what other people say and not care about what they say, it fights you genetically. You are predisposed to wanting to get along with other members of your group. It doesn't have to be other people in the world, just of your group. So if you have a certain group of people that care about a certain thing and you go against what they care about, you're more likely to be exiled from that particular group, increasing that value. So now, to make this more palatable for people, or to start offering some examples, is, we have this on our consciousness constantly. That's why you're haunted or plagued by it. Whenever you make a particular call, a judgment, or an action, you're standing for something. But if your group doesn't stand for that same position and it means enough to them that they feel it's harmful for their viewpoints or beliefs, they at first may say things about you, or they may they'll start withdrawing or whatever, but behind your back, they'll make statements. Now, there's a value to this. One is, are you in the right group for yourself? Do you affiliate and associate yourself with the right group that will help support you, or just support you enough that you can self-sustain to acquire a new place in life, to reach your concept of success? Meaning that, maybe you want a particular amount of money to be accumulated, and that's a function for your idea of success. It's a measurement to your idea of success. Now, if you're hanging out with a bunch of people that are always broke, they don't have the ability to help you or mentor you in becoming wealthy directly, but they might be able to offer you the lessons indirectly if you know how to watch those lessons. So if that's the case, it's time to shift to another group if you do not have the skill set in order to learn indirectly, because they're not going to mimic the behaviors, or they're not even going to excel or demonstrate the behaviors necessary to directly accumulate money. But they will show you how not to. So if you don't have the skill set to see the opposite side and then what to do and means of acquiring money, or you need someone to directly show you how to do so, you would do best by finding other people that have that functional knowledge. So it doesn't mean that you need to leave your friends because of that one thing. You have to weigh it on how much you want to succeed in that particular area in your life. You may just ultimately grow away slowly, or move away from that particular group slowly. I have done this myself, not purposely, but just I realized that, I've had friends that like going out and drinking. It was even before I got into, a monogamous and serious relationship. I started to drift away from that because it wasn't as satisfying for me. I would prefer to read than to sit down and watch, whatever television show that most people are getting absorbed into, right, and obsessed with. I'd rather read. So whenever the conversations would come up that they wanted to talk about what they watched on television, I'm a very authentic person, so I don't feign a lot of nonsense. I don't act in a way that I'm not congruent with myself. Now that I've matured to a great deal in a lot of areas, I don't do that anymore. I'm more direct. I'm like, I'm glad that you enjoyed that particular show. I don't have anything to say about it. You can share with me what you think's great about it, but at the same time, I have other interests. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time consumed by that. I don't watch a lot of live television. Yeah, I have Netflix, and I may watch it once in a while, but I don't really watch a lot of things. I watch a lot of documentaries, and then whatever I just get in that grabs my interest. But dramas and things like that are usually not high on my list, unless of course I want to study the drama of human beings, and then I go after that particular direction. And I may even binge consume that. But the point of this all is that whenever my friends from the past would have conversations with me, and they weren't really seeking the same intellectual value levels that I was, I started to drift away from them. Not purposely. I just didn't find a lot of value and desire to have those conversations that they were consumed by, or going out and drinking, and I wanted to be in bed early so that I could get up early and take on the day or go after the things that I prioritized as being important for me. So I started to look away from it. You see, I was shifting groups, but I wasn't irresponsibly behaving in such a way that, damn you, if you don't want to find the way that I'm happy in and you want to judge me on my happiness. So I shifted away. Again, there's no fault in this, and I'm not making my position better than their position. I prefer to experience life a certain way for myself. And I'm not caught up in trying to suppress a lot of things. Like, the drinking culture can commonly be held with the same ideas of suppression, which most people in that culture, in my opinion, are trying to suppress things in their life. I've chosen to take on the things that would normally be suppressed by others. I've chosen to take them on as an opportunity to develop myself and also others, like my clients and students, to help them achieve the life they want to achieve by identifying these 8 areas of maturity that I teach through the Human Manual. So with that being said, you also have that consciousness there that has been part of our evolutionary process of being able to stay inside of a particular group. This is where it actually judges your actions, or it helps you are judging your own actions through the subconscious mind on what feels right and what feels comfortable. Now that's conditioned. You can condition it in many other ways, but ultimately, though, genetically, you're going to resist as much as you can, so long as you're not like a sociopath or a psychopath. You'll resist as much as you can to being exiled from your group based off of your decisions that you make. Now, again, like if I said, if you're looking for another group, you start behaving in such a way to be more attractive to that group, to be accepted. So if I just went up to somebody and just started talking to them about, all kinds of things, and I had no idea what their group position was, and just started talking to them about finances or intellectual values and endeavors and philosophy, and they're there trying to drown their sorrows and they have no interest in that conversation, I've recognized that person is also not ready for that particular group that I'm seeking. But as you find people that actually have those conversations, you find that those groups are quicker to accept you because you are now a contribution to that group. So that's the transition that is still valuable to not caring what other people say, in the sense that it's valuable because you care what the persons that you're wanting to affiliate with say. So the people that you're leaving are the ones that you're not letting their movement or their statements affect you, although they still have value. It's just, do you want to affiliate those values to your idea of success? Do you want to shift your idea of success to accommodate for their ideas of success? Which is what most people are speaking from, because people give advice from their own perspectives and their own concepts of success, not from what they know about what you want to exceed or succeed at. So I hope that opens up the door a little bit more, so you understand that it is about group selection and group acceptance when it comes to whether or not you care whether someone says something or not, or thinks anything about your actions or thoughts. So with that, it really, I hope this opens up this conversation a bit more So you don't just read some cliche statement like, don't care about other people think, just do what it takes to make you happy. Well, being accepted in your group is a major factor for being happy. It's part of your survival needs. And when you feel accepted, it instantly satisfies that survival need, which means that someone cares about you either in thought or in action. So in the physical body or in the psyche of the person, or both, and most of the time it is both, they will do things to protect you as you would do for them, whether it's protecting their ideologies or protecting their physical bodies or both. It's still, you're there to protect them as they are reciprocating that. So you feel that the idea of survival is satisfied. Now, if that idea of survival isn't satisfied, good luck trying to find happiness, because that supersedes the instantaneous gratifications of other things. You'll find psychosis waits for isolation, or waits in isolation. It's a disease of isolation. It's a psychological disposition in isolation. So if you are isolated for a particular period of time, you're more susceptible to become psychotic, fall into psychosis. If you continue to act in such a way you don't care what other people think, just so long as you're happy, that in itself is borderline psychopathic. That you are behaving in such a way that you don't care how it affects other people. That is one of the conditions that they use to diagnose psychopathy. So consider that being selfish can be healthy, but at what extent? Are you ostracizing and abusing people that are affiliated with you? If that's the case, being selfish is not healthy to that factor. But there is a such thing as healthy selfishness. And I consider myself to be fairly adept in being able to talk about that because of my position on it in the articles and the literature that I've created on that particular position. There's unhealthy selfish and there is healthy selfish. There will be published soon as far as an interview I did with a friend of mine that I will publish. That conversation itself is about an hour long. So you care what other people think, no matter how delusional you wish to be about it. You will always care what other people think. This is some of the reasonings why you'll care what other people think, because you do not want to be exiled from your groups. If your group no longer serves you, it's time to find another group, but you still care what other people think. Even if it means that what makes you happy makes them unhappy, you will care. And if you go without caring, you're slipping into a slippery slope that can be detrimental to your relationships. So it's actually the greater value is to seek out how to mature yourself and your group so that you can reap the benefits of all the hard work that you put in developing your groups and developing your positions with your groups, because you've put time in there. So if the group ultimately really doesn't align with you, that's fine. Seek out another. Isolation's a scary place. So imagine being on an island surrounded by people, but no one can connect with you. That's a pain that I don't think you would really want. This statement earlier about not caring what other people think so long as you're happy is a formula to achieving that particular end result. And I don't think you really want that particular result. Personally, I don't want that. And I would assert that like-mindedness that you wouldn't want it either. Finding another group, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so you have to also understand your position with these groups. Are you a giver or you a taker? If you're just a giver, you need to learn to take a little bit. And if you're a taker, you need to learn to give in order to make sure you're balanced, homeostasis in your group. If not, you're gonna find that the group may not accept you as well as you wish for them to. All right, guys. I'll extend this conversation if there are any more comments about this or if there's any viewpoints that you would like to share. I would happily extend this conversation either in the comment section below, or I may make a second video on this if that be something that you desire. Now, again, this is Chad Everett Brochures. I am the host of Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia, and this is brought to you by the Human Manual. So again, share this video as much as you like. Put it on Facebook, whatever social media you use. Be happy and glad to share it, and I'll be happy and glad to answer any questions that you may have, either in video form or in written form. So with that, again, comment below. I appreciate all of your attention, and I look forward to my next video with you. Enjoy your day and be happy, but yet know that your friends' happiness also make you happy. And that's also covered in earlier portions of this video if you get my point. All right, guys, enjoy. Oh, and gals.